And we're live here at the Paperclip, Martinsville. The Paperclip 144 with the ITSR Twisted Cup Series. This is MW Productions, Michael Woolley Productions, sponsored by Axio Sanitary Services tonight. I'm Michael Keaton. Up in the booth with me tonight, Higon Pasoko, as well as MW, Michael Woolley himself, down in the producer studios, pushing all the buttons, getting us the famous, nice-looking views that we get week in, week out. Tonight, Martinsville, the Paperclip. Higon Pasoko.
Hey, glad to be back here Tuesday nights, back to Martinsville for the second time back-to-back here on MW Productions, the Paperclip 144. So this race a little bit shorter than if you guys tuned in last night with Real Sim Racing. Definitely these guys over here with ITSR gonna put on a show. Qualifying session just getting started. CJ LeVere at the very early provisional pole here as these drivers get a shot. 2 laps to put down the fastest time at a track like this that's just over a half mile long. Track position could be one of the most important factors of the evening.
Let's take everyone back last Tuesday night in Fontana, the beautiful California state, where Jose Gonzalez would nearly come home with a victory, but couldn't quite do it over Brandon Traburco and John Higman Jr., who would win. John Higman Jr., Evan, would win his first race of the season in the inaugural, obviously, season of ITSR. Brandon Traburco would finish second again, and again, Viva Mexico Racing, Jose Gonzalez would start on the pole but finish third. CJ LeVere would finish fourth with 0 laps led, and Brett McBride, who finished fifth, would lead 4 laps. So out of the top 5, 4 of those drivers led at least 4 more laps.
You take a look at position 6th on through 10th. Adam Hiley coming home at number 6 spot, able to get that number 6 position. He himself up in the top 5 of the championship standings. He already has 2 wins on this season. Just behind him, Doug Roth able to come home in the number 7 spot. 8th belonging to Matt Lacrosse. Lacrosse able to pick up that position. Josh Cheney starting back at a 19th position. He's the biggest mover inside of these guys in the top 10, who started 19th, was able to rock away with the number 9 spot. And then Chad Schilling was the driver that rounded out the top 10, finishing obviously in the number 10 position to close out the field at Fontana.
And looking at the top 5 in points, Jose Gonzalez leads the point standing. CJ LeVere 5 back, Matt Lacrosse 11 back, Neil Fasekas 12 back, and Adam Hiley rounds out the top 5.
Take a look at 6th position, 17 points back. So it's going to be Stefan Marinak. Blaine Woodruff is actually in a 3-car tie with Brandon Traburco and John Wilco. 27 back for position 7, 8, and 9. Around at the top 10 is going to be Ben Burnett, sitting 34 points back from Jose Gonzalez, who sits at the top of the pile.
A really nice battle there for the top 10. Obviously, like Evan said, a 3-way tie for 7th just shows you how crucial every week is. And of course, here we come into Martinsville with all on the line here at the Paperclip 144. When we return for the promotional video and the national anthem, we'll have the starting lineups here at Martinsville.
New shoes, yeah, I don't know where I'm going to. Silk suit, black tie, and I don't need a reason why. They come running just as fast as they can, but every girl's crazy about a sharp-dressed man. Gold watch, diamond ring, well, I ain't missing on a single thing. Cornflakes, stick pin, ask about I'm gonna do you in. They come running just as fast as they can.
Hey, look here, beavers. You better hide your wives, hide your husband, and look here, both of you hide your kids, because we're coming.
But every girl's crazy about a sharp-dressed man. clubs, looking sharp, looking for love. They come running just as fast as they can. Every girl's crazy about a sharp dress man. Make some noise! Clean shirt, new shoes, and I don't know where I'm going to. Silk suit, black tie, and I don't need a reason why. They come running just as fast as they can. Every girl's crazy about it.
We're back live where the qualifying has just concluded, and your starting lineups for the Paperclip 144 in the ITSR Twisted Cup Series. Jose Gonzalez going to take us to the green flags tonight with Adam Hiley to the right.
It is going to be C.J. LeVere inside row number 2. At number 4 machine going to be starting in position number 3 alongside him. Brian Harvey in the 66 starting 4th.
The 21 machine of Matt LaCrosse starts 5th tonight, and 6th fastest is the 46 of Mark Mitchell.
Got Rhett McBride just behind these guys in the 7th starting position. Number 2 machine outside him. The 8th starting position belonging to John Higman Jr. in the 60 car.
9th, belongs to the 68 machine of Scott Simley. The 10 car, David Lanza, will start 10th.
Stefan Marinac going to roll the number 24 car inside row 6 in the 11th starting position, and Jay Horton in the 83 going to roll along on his right-hand side in 12th.
Starting 13th tonight in the 43 machine, Doug Roth, and 14th quickest tonight at the paperclip, the 88, Adam Roberts.
Blaine Woodruff at the 71 Ford machine going to be starting position number 15, and 16th belonging to the 89 machine on Neil Fasekas.
Frank Coons rolls off 17th tonight, the last to take time with a 19.925. Brandon Treberko will be the lucky number 18 starter tonight.
Rich Jett inside row 10 at 19th starting position is him at his number 36 machine, and Josh Cheney going to round out the top 20 in the 14 car.
Douglas White in the Hippie Chop Chevrolet rolls off 21st, and Jay Randall Watkins in that 77 rolls off 22nd.
Add back at the back, the final row, 23rd starting position could belong to John Wilco and the 62 crew. And alongside him, Stephen Herring in the 98 machine rolling off. Those guys finish off your 24-car grid here at Martinsville.
24 cars set to take build tonight.
Okay,
The
the guy
paperclip
behind me,
144
smashed me,
race
3 times.
number 6 in the
Come
ITSR
on,
Twisted
John.
Cup Series,
John, I
sponsored by
didn't do it on
Axo
purpose
Sanitary
now.
Services, and of course presented to you by always MW Productions. And Evan, Martinsville Speedway, the paperclip, a track that's notorious for beating and banging. I think we'll see a little bit of it tonight, but I think we'll see a long green flag run as well.
It's going to be interesting to see how they negotiate this. 144 laps is, somewhere in the range of about 75, 80 miles. Long race, shorter than what these guys could have done, but I mean, it is going to be a good distance. I think that they may have to work a couple cautions, but no doubt we're going to see a green flag run here. Pace car down to safety pit road. Jose Gonzalez is coming to lead us to the green in 3 and 4.
And he takes off out of 4 there with Adam Hiley in second. They'll go single file here into turns 1. And Adam Hiley's going to spin it out in front of the field. Evan, oh gosh, collecting Mark Bratcher, the 46 car. CJ LeVere involved. A host of cars parking lot in turn 1 at the beginning of this race. Jay Horton involved.
He just pulls down in front of the 5 machine and gets damage on the 5 of Douglas Wyatt. Just cut him off.
Oh man.
And
That's just something you don't expect.
15, I don't know what happened, but I mean, turn number 1 just gets going. Obviously, Jose Gonzalez getting the jump on the restart that you would expect. And, Hiley just goes down into the corner, and it just goes sideways right away. And he's at the very, very front of the field. So CJ LeVere gets a piece of damage after starting 3rd. 15 spins up the racetrack, collects the 46 car. 83's got to get hard on the binders, and again, everybody braking and trying to get around it. 15 just cuts off the 5 machine, and now Douglas Wyatt's got damage that he would otherwise not have, and several cars up at the front of the field now with damage.
Yeah, and during that as well, Evan, the 88 car was checking up for Doug Roth in front of him. That was Adam Roberts, the 88 machine, and then Blaine Woodruff just comes piling in and gets into the back of him, so heavy damage to the front end of the 71 car and heavy back end damage to the 88 car. First lap, folks, turn 1. If you're just joining us, the 15 machine of Adam Hiley gets down into 1 a little bit too shaky and spins it out right in front of CJ LeVere, and it set off a chain reaction here early, very early, way too early here at Martinsville.
These guys just getting going, getting down there into turn number 1. And I mean, we talk about this racetrack not having a lot of room, and this is literally seconds after the drop of the initial green flag where everybody's close together. The bad part about it is that 5 machine of Douglas Wyatt, who got damaged, he was just absolutely in the back, and he was way behind the incident, slowed down well in time, and I mean, just really got cut off without any, anticipation or explanation in and of itself. And I mean, that's really the guy that you got to feel for.
Yeah, absolutely. And right now, surprisingly enough, now there's more cars that's obviously damaged than the 5 that's at least one lap down already. But starting with 20th spot, Stephen Herring 1 lap down, Douglas Wyatt, obviously Adam Hiley, Blaine Woodruff, and Mark Bratcher all 1 lap down currently. But more than that damaged, John Wilco, C.J. LeVere, I think Matt Lacrosse got a little bit of the action as well.
Lights have been extinguished atop the Ford First Racing Mustang pace car, so we are going to be looking for the green flag as the field doubles up and gets around some lap traffic down the back straightaway. Pace car down to the safety of pit road. The top 2 are going to be a little bit different. Jose Gonzalez still P1, but we got Brian Harvey in the second spot. Jose is going to take off. Green flag flies. Battle is for P2, and it's the 2 car that wants it. Rhett McBride on the inside of Brian Harvey. Harvey way up the track in turns 1 and 2. 3 wide. He's able to hang on to it, but he's going to drop outside of the top 5.
Yeah, that's no man's land up here, Evan, right up high, the part of the racetrack. 66, Brian Harvey trying to get down low, but can't quite do it yet. Scott Simley in the 68 machine's working underneath him. That's the battle for 5th right now. Here at the paperclip, 144, 8 laps into the books, and Scott Simley gets the pass, and here comes the 43 car of Doug Roth inside the 66.
Ooh.
Oh, a little rubbing there.
Yeah, 66 really didn't give a lot of room. Doug Roth made a little bit of contact there. They rubbed doors, and the 43 is able to pick up the spot. Look at the 3 car behind them. That's Brandon Shaburko in the Carolina Nut Chevrolet. He's looking for a way around. He looks a little bit quicker than Harvey, but because of Harvey and where he was on the racetrack, didn't want to move him on lap 9 or whatever, so he had to hang off. A couple more side by side up in front of these guys. The field has to work their way around the lap traffic in the 71 machine of Blaine Woodruff. Jose Gonzalez trying to check out as he currently holds at another 1 spot, a 6/10 of a second lead over the car sitting P2. That is the 2 of Rhett McBride.
Looking back here, still at 3 car and 66 car, Brian Harvey, nearly getting into him there out of the turn 4 there, but the Traburco finally gets the 3 car in front of Brian Harvey. Brian evidently looking on the outside looking in here. He's got his hands full, and finally he's back here in 8th spot as caution falls back onto the racetrack. This one is going to be brought out by Frank Coons in the 48 machine. He's just going to get loose off of 2. The 77 is going to go by safely, and so does John Wilco in the 62. So just a little solo spin here, and as that's been caught back up, we're going to take our first commercial break. 2 cautions in to an early Martinsville Speedway race where the man out front is the man from Puerto Rico, the 26 machine, Jose Gonzalez, the fearless leader so far here at Martinsville. We're back and just in time for the restart here at Martinsville, where Jose Gonzalez is about to get to the green flag here in turn 3 and 4. With the 2 of Rhett McBride starting on the outside in that 4. And here we go. Wow, what a good start for the 10 car, Evan David Lanza, as he gets his 4 down to the bottom of the racetrack.
Everybody trying to get sorted out on this restart. I know there was a checkup somewhere around mid-pack. 21 car nearly spun out and collected 88. Adam Roberts picked up a little bit of damage from that. Meanwhile, Jose Gonzalez has checked out at the front of the field, and everybody single file throughout the top 15. One car around 77 to J. Randall Watkins gets spun coming out of the corner. 66 spins him out, and a big chunk about a turn 2 on lap 18. No caution though remaining under the green flag, but J. Randall Watkins getting some help around for the 66 machine of Brian Harvey.
Oh, and I just seen Adam Roberts nearly loop it out of the 4 there, but saving it, and he'll lose a couple of spots. That's Adam Roberts, the A8 machine. He's fine. Just about looped it though. Now John Wilco sitting in 18th spot, 1 lap down, gets into the wall coming out of turn 2, and he'll be okay. Man, Evan, it looks like he's battling a real tight race car. I don't think that car is turning like it should as the 5 car goes underneath.
They're bouncing all over the place, trying to get through these couple laps here. Good news is everybody's starting to spread out. Only 16 drivers remain on the lead lap. There's a lot of guys out here right now that are running with some pretty significant damage to the race cars. Now, if you're gonna have to choose a track to get damage at, it's going to be Martinsville, the track that requires the least or has the least aerodynamic interference. As far as if you have damage, it's not going to hinder your ability as much, especially in comparison to super speedways of the 1.5 up and larger tracks. So you can do some work with it, but definitely not going to be in contention for the win if you don't have a nose on that thing. David Lanza is trying to battle for the number 1 spot. Jose Gonzalez owns it right now. That time out of start-finish line, scoring a good update. It's going to be 47/100ths of a second. Before that, 49. So 10 machine David Lanza closing in on Jose Gonzalez. It's a 4/10 right now. Jose had a 6/10 of a second lead before. It was that 10 machine that kicked McBride out of that bridesmaid position as they run right now, and he's trying to close in on him, and he's knocking on the door. The time's exactly dead even that last time by, but David Lanza with a strong car right now. Him and Jose Gonzalez pretty much dead even. They're starting to open up a little bit of a gap on the field. They have about 2 seconds to get back to those cars third on back.
Yeah, and David Lanza, who last week at California didn't make the race. So David Lanza trying to come in here tonight at Martinsville, trying to put his name and number on the leaderboard. David Lanza sitting back in 23rd spot, only 2 starts. But he's back tonight nonetheless, trying to do some work, and he's sitting pretty in second as he goes up underneath the 62 of John Wilco to put him 1 lap down.
8 and 16 drivers remain on the lead lap right now. Last driver on the lead lap as we run under what is hoping to be a long green flag run here at Martinsville is Adam Roberts and the 88 machine. Now, he obviously, with major front end and rear end damage from that checkup there on the restart, is in risk of losing his lap. Leaders running lap times about 19.5 seconds long, and you give it about maybe a 3-second gap between the back bumper of that number, I want to go 88 again, Adam Roberts, and Jose Gonzalez, who is running laps quicker than him, so he wouldn't need a hope on a caution. But I mean, that car is torn up, and he obviously voiced a little bit of his frustration over the radio. Tough break, because it is going to be a long way around this joint, still well over 100 laps to go with a damaged race car. David Lanza's kind of dropped off a little bit from Jose Gonzalez, though. It's 8/10.
Looking back here in 6th spot, a battle shaping up onto the racetrack. The 68 Scott Simley is going to be high. The 4-car CJ LeVert goes. Here comes Doug Rolfe trying to sneak in by, and he actually lets out the throttle there for a second and gets back in it in 1, and they'll go up underneath the 71 car. Blaine Woodruff trying to push 3 wide. No, off of turn 3-2 there. And the 43 Rolfe thought better of it, but he gives him a shove. Little run, bump and run.
Shot. 68 goes up the hill. Scott Simley has to hang on to it. Doug Roth apologizing over the radio. That's not going to make up for the positions, though, because Doug Roth in the 43 is around, 68 of Simley's around. Here comes the 36 of Rich Jett, and Scott Simley in a 68 machine is fixing to lose about 3-4 spots here as he's trapped on the high lane, and more guys keep coming. Now he's got the number 21 machine, Matt Lacrosse, to battle with. Lacrosse throws it down in there to one.
Yeah, he put that Fearless Racing Chevrolet down there, buddy, and made it stick. A Scott Simley, like you said, lost nearly 5 positions now to Harvey as he looks underneath possibly, but now Rich Jett puts the 36 up in front in the 8th spot underneath the 33 car, or 83 car of Jay Horton. Jay Horton kind of running that mid lane there, Evan, kind of doing well with it. And that Bubba Chewing Gum 36 car can't quite make the pass.
Whoa, 83 way up the hill again. He's going to open the door for the 36 machine side by side for P8. That was Jay Horton, who nearly had a moment in 3 and 4. 36 is on his inside. Rich Jett able to get around him, and out the 21 of Matt Lacrosse is there. 83 comes down the block a little bit. 21 throws it into the corner, nearly gets a wiggle. He's up on the curbing, has to hang on to it, and is able to do so, but that was close for sure. Jose Gonzalez got into some incidents there with that 88 of Adam Roberts. If we could get a replay of lap 36 going into turn 1, Jose Gonzalez goes to the inside and gets pinched off by a lap car. That 88 Adam Roberts, 26, able to hang on for now, but those drivers definitely with disagreement over the radio.
Just think Josh Cheney get real hard in the back end of what appeared to be the 68 machine of Scott Simley there in turns 3. Josh got real front heavy damage, but look at this battle here where Brian Harvey and Matt Lacrosse is at, Evan. That battle right there, then you got Stefan Marinac right behind them. Scott Simley now being passed by Mark Bratcher, and Adam Hiley looking to gain a momentum position change here. It's just a little nice little tight squeeze battle here going on.
And one thing that obviously can get involved in these lead lap battles is that lap traffic, and typically the lap traffic can kind of, you see the concrete down there on the inside, almost the inside 2 lanes, and then you have the asphalt on the top. Lap cars can yield up there to the high side of the marbles, no man's land, and let everybody by, but in the scenario where you either have 2 guys that are battling for a position, or a lap car trying to pass another lap car that's maybe a couple more laps down, a little bit more beat up, but it all depends on when, as a leader, that you get up to that. If you get it close down to this race you're coming down to, the guy in second place is on your bumper, it could come down to who negotiates all of that lap traffic quicker. However, they're really knocking these guys off right now. 15 drivers remain on the lead lap as they run right now, and Jose Gonzalez currently closing in on that last place driver on the lead lap in the 15th spot is the 5 of Douglas White. Remember him, he started back in the pack in the early goings in the number 21st spot. Now yellow flag gonna fly, trouble on the racetrack. We're gonna slow him down. 1 car's around in 4, and that is gonna be the 83 of Jay Horton.
Oh man, yeah. The 40
all by himself.
Yeah. Well, I'm looking at a different wreck then.
Got 2 at the same
car.
time?
Yeah, 2 at the same time. It looks like coming into turn 1 on the 28th lap, Frank Coons is going to rub the wall, get loose, come down and hit the inside pit. Yeah, hit the inside pit wall. And Adam Roberts.
And Adam Roberts has had such a rough night.
He's going to keep on Coons.
Ooh. Yeah, and they go out into the outside wall, and then that secondary spin almost simultaneously in 3 and 4 was the 83 of Jay Horton. Jay Horton went around all by himself in 3 and 4 and did spin that car out, got into the inside wall, and the front nose of that machine did get there. You talked about it. He was running a little bit of a different line. Leaders are on pit road. 26 Jose Gonzalez into his stall, and right side tires going on the machine, and it was a little bit of a delay because he had to get a little bit of damage repairs on that machine. He's going to be the first car over 2 exit the pit lane. As the drivers that decided to take that stop this time.
And as ITSR officials, the race set, they're ready to go back green here shortly as yellow flag condition pit stops are taken, and 100 laps are left right now as Jose Gonzalez puts number 44 on the board. When we return, we'll be back to green flag racing. in the ITSR Twisted Cup Series, sponsored by Axio Sanitary Services.
In a world where survival is the only rule and feelings have no place, where winning is everything and weakness is fatal, how much difference can one person make? That depends on the person. In every life, there is a line that cannot be crossed without leaving everything behind, except faith. Once that step is taken, there is no looking back, and all that lies ahead is destiny. There is no looking back, and all that lies ahead is destiny.
And we're back live where we've been green flag racing for a full laps now. Jose Gonzalez is your leader out front. CJ Lavere second. How about last week's winner at Fontana, California, the 60 machine, John Higman Jr. running third. Rich Jett with a good solid run currently right now in fourth. And Brennan Sherburko rounding out the top five as we run here at Martinsville.
Yeah, got a good green flag run in the works here after just coming off an initial restart there, and everybody trying to get once again back spread out. Jose Gonzalez obviously in the number one spot. Number two spot changes once again, and it always seems that the driver that's going to be restarting in position number three is going to almost get that second spot every time due to the fact that they're going to be behind race leader, have the inside lane into the corner, and if they can get a good jump, we'll get there, because that's how John Higman Jr. got to P2 for restarting third on a restart, and that's how he lost it, as CJ Lavere was able to get around him. Lavere currently runs the number two spot, however not as close as the two leaders were running previous to this, as Jose Gonzalez has a 1.3 second lead as they run out there on the racetrack right now. 13 drivers remaining on the lead lap as we have passed the lap 50 mark, and next milestone in this race we look forward to would be that halfway point coming up at about 16-18 laps.
Something interesting, folks, here. Jose Gonzalez So far this year, most laps led, 120 total. Adam Hiley would be the second closest to him at 112 led. And Brandon Traburco, how about this, who sits 8th in points, 75 laps led. So only 2 drivers currently right now over the 100 lap led century mark. And so far so good. Now, Adam Hiley would be penalized 17 points, and Matt Lacrosse would be penalized 16 points so far. The only 2 drivers in the top 10 to be penalized, as we've got one driver here being blown up.
Yeah, Josh Chaney was running top 15, coming down the front straightaway, had significant front end damage, blew up going into the corner right in front of the 46 machine, was able to hang on to it down on pit road. His night going to come to an abrupt ending after running well on that lead lap.
And Josh Chaney, I guess at the time, was running 18th. And Evan, bad news for him. Neil Fasakis is 4 down. Blaine, Mark Bratcher, these guys are still on the racetrack, so he could fall all the way back to about 21st spot. Now, David Lanza has pulled his car behind pit wall currently, and his day may appear to be done. So that's bad news for him. Again, only 2 starts. This would be his 3rd start of the season, and we are 6 into the books after tonight. So 5 starts coming into tonight for most of the drivers here, at least the top 7 drivers in the point standings have all had 5 starts.
Hey, look at the guys that are leading right now in points. Jose Gonzalez, CJ LaFere, all of them with multiple top 5 stops. It's the only driver so far. Again, I mean, you look at the schedule. We started in Daytona with the Phoenix, Las Vegas, Bristol, and California. This is race 6 on the season. The only driver to have a top 10 in every single race so far this season is Matt Lacrosse, running 9th right now, on track to do that. And that would be quite an impressive feat, to lead, or rather get 6 top 10s in the first 6 races of the season. Sitting 3rd in the points. Obviously, the one thing that he's missing there is going to be those wins. CJ LaFere, Jose Gonzalez. CJ not with one. Jose does at the top of the standings right now. But Matt Lacrosse, for sure, if he's able to pick up a 6th consecutive, then that would be an amazing feat for him, for sure.
Yeah, it sure would. Matt Lacrosse, one of those guys who week out, pretty good driver, knows exactly how to win a race, knows how to run up front. Does a good job week in, week out. And being in the top 10 shows his consecutiveness.
Yeah, we're under yellow flag. Scott Simley gets the boot and gets turned around, and that's what puts us under the yellow flag. Going into 3 and 4, had a fast number 60 car behind him, and 60 just got sideways. You see that car, that was John Hingman Jr. running 3rd. Just gets sideways onto the brakes, wheel hops it, gets into the 68. 68 goes round into the inside wall, and he's sitting right in the middle of the racetrack, and the front end gets chipped off by the 2 machine. The 24 gets a piece of it as well. Several of these drivers were lead lap cars, and they might have got a piece of that.
This is just a tough track, Evan, and as the leaders come down pit road to get those fresh Goodyear tires, Jose Gonzalez is still going to be your leader. He's doing a great job of leading, and if I'm not mistaken, I see Jose Gonzalez coming back down pit road. Evan, am I seeing that Don Q Chevy? Yeah, he's coming back down pit road. Jose Gonzalez coming back down pit road.
He entered pit road first, obviously as being race leader, and taking a look at his speed, don't think he really got a speeding penalty. Trying to see what his speeds were like on pit exit. Looks like he may have sped coming out of pit road. I know CJ LaFere got close. You got to look at this pit road speed limit here. 35 miles an hour, and the Ford machine was coming off pit road pretty quick, and not sure where the final timing loop is or the speed loop there to get those calculations, but he was going about 45 at that last yellow line on pit road, and without hesitation came down pit road and just did a lap through it, so didn't come down to get any more damage fixed. So I believe it may have been for a black flag, and that's what is going to knock Jose out of the lead.
Wow. And that will put last week's, well, no, it's going to put C.J. LeVere out front. John Higman Jr., last week's winner, is going to start outside. So LeVere, the 4 car, going to lead for the first time tonight here at Martinsville, as he'll take us back to the green, and Jose Gonzalez is going to be back here in 10th spot, but he is on the end of the longest line. So here we go, back to green. C.J. LeVere going to take us to a slow but steady green as we're back live here at Martinsville Speedway. 71 laps on the books, so coming up on the halfway mark.
And green flag is out, and a little bit of a battle for the number 2 spot starts to calm down as John Higman Jr. able to hang on to that spot. He's got the 3 of Brandon Chaburko behind him, so the 3 machine currently sits in P3 right now as a big, long, single file line of cars is what describes about the top 20.
And the top 10 right now after the stops are C.J. LeVere, John Higman Jr., Brandon Chaburko, Doug Roth, Rich Jett, Rhett McBride, Matt Lacrosse, Brian Harvey, Jose Gonzalez, 9, and Douglas Wyatt rounds out the top 10. And just to round out the rest of the field that's on the lead lap, Stefan Marinac, 11th, and Jay Horton, 12th. And Jay Randall Watkins would be your 13th man right now, 1 lap down. And I just seen Jose Gonzalez come back down pit road, so speeding penalty more than likely the case here as he goes down 1 lap. Oh, bad tough break for Jose. Yeah, stop and go, Evan. Stop and go.
And he comes down pit road, has to stop in the stall, get going, and it's going to go from looking so good for him 10 laps ago to a caution coming out, having to make what appeared to be 2 penalty pass-throughs. And one beat a pass-through, one obviously made a stop and go in his stall, and now he finds himself 1 lap down, but not even the first car lap down. J. Randall Watkins in position number 12 is the current car that would be in the lucky dog spot. So Jose's got to try to chase him down if he wants to get that lap back, and he's got to get to work if he wants to work his way back up through the pack. He is the second car 1 lap down, sitting P13. Meanwhile, C.J. LeVere is trying to check out as we're bumper to bumper for the second on back. LeVere having about a second lead over everybody else in the pack.
Yeah, Brandon Chaburko running second right now. John Higman Jr. in the Flame Ford's got about a car length now separates the two, with Doug Roth, though, all over the back and rear bumper. In the 2-car, Rhett McBride giving the 43 a little bump and run as Rhett McBride nearly loses it out of 4, a little loosey-goosey as he settles it back down with the Chevy of the 21, Matt Lacrosse, back underneath behind him, coming off of 2 single file here. 79 laps complete this time by.
It's been almost bumper-to-bumper position, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th between Chaburko, John Higman Jr., and Doug Roth. These guys kind of spread out a little bit right now, but again, this field getting really spread out due to obviously going to be the yellow flags and the good amount of that green flag run. I think we had 2 decently length green flag runs so far in this race. And by the way, we are past the halfway point, so we are on the downhill side of things here at the Martinsville Speedway, starting to get closer and closer now. We can count down towards that checkered flag. But meanwhile, obviously, Jose Gonzalez losing that number 1 spot. He has passed J. Randall Watkins, so he is now in the lucky dog spot, so it's not over yet for that 2016.
Yeah, that's exactly where he needed that car back in the position to get the lucky dog if we were to see a caution again. Now, if we don't see a caution, Evan, I believe that these guys could make it. Oh, it's Stefan Marinac blowing up, going down the backstretch into turn 3. His day's done. Lead lap car.
He was
I know
in 10th
it's
spot.
tough.
He just blew up out of 2 and just came right, man. And that's what's going to happen. You get the beating and banging, you get the damage on the front, you get the damage on the back, and those temperatures going to get through the roof, and there's nothing you can do. You just got to run it out there and hope it doesn't blow up, and that's the second or third that we've seen. His night's done. There's no way they're going to be able to fix that. Just such a tough break, man, for some of these guys.
It is. It really is. And no caution, by the way, so no oil on the racetrack. And we're still green flag racing. We're Jose Gonzalez. If you're just joining us, got a speeding penalty. He's back in 11th, trying to fight back on his lead lap. But C.J. Lavere currently is the man out front. He's working Jay Horton. Jay Horton, who's about to go a lap down. Evan, that'll put only 9 on the lead lap. And Douglas Wyatt is just ahead of this battle, as you see Lavere on the inside, coming off 4, taking over Jay Horton's lead lap currency.
And that's bad news for Jose Gonzalez, because Jose is about an entire half a lap behind Jay Horton. So Douglas Wyatt would be the next driver to lose his lap. He's 17 seconds back from Lavere, which means he's about 3 seconds in front of him from getting lapped. Other than that, everybody else on the lead lap is within 4 seconds of race leader. So if we get a long green flag run, both these guys lose their lap. Jose's got to get pedaling to pass these guys, because again, right now, Jay Horton now has possession of that lucky dog spot on the racetrack.
And yeah, we just seen Stefan Marinac come out of his Chevrolet. His night's done. The engine blown up. We seen Scott Simley, same issue. And oh, Matt Lacrosse! Matt Lacrosse, the 21 machine, 6th spot, is gonna get in to the 83 of Jay Horton, who's just put a lap down. And it's going to be okay. No caution, but man, I wouldn't be surprised if Matt... Oh, there he goes, Devin. He almost nearly lost it. Yeah, he's battling an ill-handed race car. I figured that would be the case. Look at the 21 car. He's suffering right now.
And he's got some front-end damage on that machine, too, and gone to the corner, without any other interference, and it just got sideways. Got on the curbing, went up, and that machine was right there above him, and that's why he punted the 83 of Jay Horton. Douglas Wyatt has lost his lap, which leaves 8 drivers on the lead lap as we currently run on the racetrack, all of them within 6 seconds of the leader. So just an update on the battle for that lucky dog spot. Jose's closed it in to somewhere in the range of just under half a lap. However, he would have to get around Douglas Wyatt and Jay Horton. That is well over half a lap to get to Douglas Wyatt in the lucky dog spot right now, as he sits in a 9th place, 1 lap down. First car, 1 lap down is Hippie Doug Wyatt.
Yeah, Douglas Wyatt, 1 lap down, although he's got a pretty good gap on the 83 car. If a caution were to fall out here the next few laps, he would be the LD as the field continues to run the green flag laps here. We're going to step away, take a commercial break. Hopefully we'll have this good continuous green flag run and bring you back to green flag racing here Martinsville Speedway with the ITSR Twisted Cup Series, sponsored by Axio Sanitary Services and presented by MW Productions. We'll be back. back live here at Martinsville under the green flag conditions as we promised. And Evan, so far a great run here for green flag racing conditions. Now, I'm not exactly 100% sure, but about 80% sure that these guys can make it on fuel the rest of the way. But do I want to? Do I want to run 70 laps, 60 laps on a right front worn out tire? That's the question.
Yeah, that's going to be one of the things to pay attention to, is going to be how to navigate that, negotiate that. Matt Lacrosse, 21 car, we talked about him earlier. Caution now, actually going to fly on the speedway. Trouble light's going to go back on the pace car. We're going to slow him down and try to find the cause of that caution that is going to cause us to once again group back up. As the caution flies now after lap 100, so in the closing stages of this race, is this yellow flag going to fly? And take a look around the racetrack, trying to find out what may have happened here. I see a slow car on the racetrack, 43 of Doug Roth, off pace. But other than that, I don't really see anything else. That may have been what have brought it out, though.
Nonetheless, C.J. LeVere is going to use it as a perfect opportunity to come down pit road and get the 4 fresh Goodyear tires as he leads the squad.
Don't speed.
8 on the lead lap, and yeah, Evan, don't speed. That's exactly right. And the 3 car, Brandon Scherberko, down on his pit box, and the right side's going up on that machine. Obviously, the left side's going to come back around and go up on it. But yeah, do not speed here.
C.J. LeVere coming into his stall and getting his service done to his race car as his 4 tire stop is completed. He's going to exit pit road first, 3 machines second, John Hickman Jr. third, so no changes within the top 3. Final pit stops for the evening as we have now passed and are inside of 40 laps to go, somewhere in the range of 37, 38, maybe 35 when we go back green flag racing.
And a quick rundown of where drivers are at. C.J. LeVere first, Brandon Scherberko second, John Hickman Jr. third, Rhett McBride in that Deuce machine, the 2 car, running fourth. And as pit stops have been made and the field's starting to kind of change it here a little bit, but Douglas Wyatt running fifth, Douglas Roth sixth, Brian Harvey seventh, Rich Jett eighth, and Matt Lacrosse in ninth. And running out the top here, Jay Horton, 1 lap down. Jose Gonzalez fighting with Jay Horton, Evan, for 1 lap down position. He's in 11th.
It is 9 drivers on the lead lap right now, as the 5 of Douglas Wyatt is down pit road this time along with Matt Lacrosse as we do pace. There was your green flag run. Now it's time to do battle. C.J. LeVere in the number 1 spot, entering the seating second in the points, 5 points behind Jose Gonzalez. Jose finds himself 11th. So as I said right now, that 4 machine fixing to go to the number 1 spot. C.J. LeVere not having a win and in this 2014 inaugural campaign year with the ITSR. Lights are off of the pace car. We're going to be looking for green as we pace down the back straightaway, and pace car takes that sharp left-hand turn down to the safety of pit road right there as the 4 and 3 lead us through 3 and 4.
And a nice little rub there by the 3 car of Scherberko as we go back green. Wow, what a great start for C.J. LeVere there. Oh, and 60 car, John Hickman Jr.
Oh, big wreck. Oh, they're piling them in 1 and 2 after John Hickman Jr. just absolutely gets dumped unintentionally, but dumped.
The famous words of the 2 car. He goes, "That was my bad."
I don't think that's gonna make that 60 feel any better. 100 laps later, in a position to win it, and you hook the guy into the fence.
You know, it's almost like possibly that Rhett McBride was thinking that he was going to be clear. I mean, and maybe the 60 car got on the brakes a little too soon. I don't know.
Well,
I mean,
look
kind
at
of
the
geared
three.
up.
The three kind of merges down to the bottom lane. Traburco in front of the 60, so maybe 60 got on the brakes a little harder.
Yep.
And the 2 was going to anticipate that he was able to get through. And then the 98 car was stranded on the top and was literally going to drive right into this thing. Had to come down and try to avoid it. Actually spun, collected Doug Roth, the 89, the 88 machine as well.
Yeah, looking at Doug Roth's onboard camera, you can just, he knows it's coming. He sees the 98 car coming down. He's turning to the left, but Doug Roth is like, oh, I'm just going to eat the left side door panel of the 98 of Steve Herring, and bam, at 40 miles an hour, it doesn't take much to cause damage or carnage, but Doug Roth's machine looks pretty torn up, and I'm looking at his steering wheel here, and he's got it cocked all the way to the left as he comes down pit road. Tough break.
Yeah, their night's going to come to a premature ending. Jose Gonzalez, again, the 26 car, when that wreck happened, again, he was restarting 1 lap down and actually was not caught up really with the field when that whole melee happened. He was so far behind. He drove it on by. Jose's on the lead lap, guys.
Yeah, how about that? Jose Gonzalez back on the lead lap, fighting for what it's worth. Now he's got a long way to climb hill up battle from there, though. He's in 8th on the lead lap, but he's still got to get across and around 7 other hungry, looking for a win drivers here. And we are closing in on the final 30 laps, Evan. And I think it's shaping up to be a good one.
This thing's going to come down to a shootout to the finish, and again, one thing that we always need to mention is that there is no green-white checker in the iRacing service, so you don't get 3 chances at overtime to finish this race. The final lap is going to be lap 144, no questions asked. That means that if a caution flies, say maybe within 5 to go, or so, and that could end the race. We're going to finish and take the checkered flag while the yellow is still out. So it kind of takes away the strategy, maybe wait till the final lap, try to get them, because if there's guys battling all around the racetrack at the same time, it could end before you get time. Let's see who gets second out of this, though. Typically that 3rd place car has the best of luck. That's Rich Jet. Chaburko outside road number 1 in the 2nd spot's going to try to hold it off. Pace car down pit road, fixing for another restart.
And there he goes. The 4-car CJ LeVere getting us back to the green. 117 laps now complete out of the 144 set for the Paperclip 144 here at Martinsville in the ITSR Tuesday Night Cup Series, as we're single file. And now, before we get far into the race, I want to go through where's my driver, the top 5 in points. Where are they on the racetrack? Jose Gonzalez first. Before we do that, we're going to go over this caution, as this one's going to be pretty ugly. Evan, bad wreck. Brett McBride involved, 5th place driver.
Yeah, the 2 machine going down the backstretch. You guys got to look at it for himself. He's given the 88 a piece of his mind. That's Adam Roberts going down the backstretch. The 2 machine. The 88 kind of just cut him off. I mean, 88 kind of goes down to stop the progress of the 2, and they pretty much fight down the backstretch. Bump, 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 bump. 88 gets loose. 2 goes to the inside, and 88 just turns into the 2, keeps turning them, and dumps him. And I'm going to have to say that one did not look unintentional, because that 88 had that sucker turned to the left and did not try to get off the 2. Did what he wanted to do. Rhett McBride around, a couple other cars going to pick up damage, 6 of them in total. And that's short track tempers. But again, another driver up at the front of the field getting taken out.
And Matt Lacrosse also getting involved with that too as well. Evan, a lot of drivers actually involved with that wreck. If you want to take a look at it, the 71 car, Blaine Woodruff, finding his nose damaged in the wreck, the 62 John Wilco, the 83 Jay Horton. Man, that's just tough. And as the laps continue to run down here, we're going to take our final commercial break and let the ITSR officials clean up the carnage here at Martinsville Speedway. When we return, we should be set to go green for the last at least 15 laps here at Martinsville Speedway. And we're back here at Martinsville Speedway where we just gotten up. CJ LeVere is leading the race, but he won't take his green flag just yet as they have delayed the green flag start for at least one more lap. And they'll have to line them back up. Now the light's coming back off of the pace car. At Martinsville Speedway, CJ LeVere has led really the last 70 laps, really the second half of this race, Evan, and has done a pretty good job of that. Now the 3 car of Brandon Traburco could give him a little run for his money, but he's got to get a better start here. CJ LeVere is so good on the restarts here at Martinsville. Let's see if Traburco can keep up with him here as we get set to go back green.
Coming out of 4, CJ LeVere takes off yet again, and it is 19 laps to go at the paperclip, and only 8 drivers relatively in contention as they're the only ones that remain on the lead lap right now. Everybody's single filing out of the lead lap cars rather quickly here as CJ LeVere has company, a little bit of a wiggle out of 4. 3 Vishita Traburco only a car length off his bumper, throws it into the corner on the curbing, hangs on for now, but it's heating up front. He's in the wall.
Oh, it sure is. Man, Traburco is really going to try to dig that car as CJ LeVere gets loose off of turn 4 down the front stretch. He's going to be okay, but Traburco has now closed the gap. Look at him, half a car length separates the 2. Down in turn 3, 128 going to be put on the board this time by Traburco and CJ LeVere. A battle for the lead here in the inaugural Martinsville race in the ITSR Twisted Cup Series on Tuesday night.
It is a car length that separate the top 2 right now. Quick update on that caution that flew before we went to that quick commercial break. Rhett McBride remaining on the racetrack, and Adam Roberts in the 88 machine has been parked for the remainder of this evening's event by the ITSR officials. We're still 1 car length apart up front, and that 3 machine is trying to drive it into the corner. Only issue is we saw he got up onto the curbing when he tried to make his first move in turn number 1. That's a big no-no. The race car's not going to like that. You see he throws it down into the corner, closes the gap. 4 machine gets off the corner better, spreads the gap.
Oh boy. Top 5 currently right now: CJ LeVere, Brandon Traburco, Rich Jett, Brian Harvey, and Doug Roth. And Doug, poor old Doug, man, he's been involved in so many different accidents tonight. Really none his fault, just kind of innocent bystander. But man, he's still hanging on the 5th spot on the lead lap. And in fact, 8 drivers on the lead lap all the way back to that number 5 machine, Douglas White, who's 10 seconds off the leader's pace, but still good enough to stay on the lead lap. And we're still green flag racing here, Martinsville Speedway, where the 3-car continues to try to pound on the 4 cars' lead. And it's back up to about 3 car lengths as the 4 and the 3 come out of turn 4. Rich Jet, 3rd spot, about 5-6 car lengths back. And then Brian Harvey, who's had one heck of a showing tonight, really, Evan. He's been all up and through the field. He's in 4th now, and he's about somewhere between the lines of about 15 to 20 car lengths back from the leader, C.J. LeVere, as they all exit turn 4, single file.
And that 21 machine of Matt Lacrosse is driving at a 15-degree angle. If we can get a look at him, that car not even pointed straight. He doesn't want to pit, though, because he's still sitting 8th. He can still hang on to a top 10, which would make it 6 for 6 top 10-wise. But look at that 21 all the way up the hill. That's going to be a hazard on the racetrack. He better watch himself.
Oh, it's like you always said, you know, you really don't need aerodynamics here at Martinsville, and I think Matt Lacrosse Fearless Racing Chevy is really good with that as he allows the 83 car of Jay Horton to go by. Jay Horton not for position is 2 laps down. Oh, the 21 car's up in the wall.
He can't hang on to it, man. That thing is sliding, not going straight. He doesn't want to pit, though. He has damage, but again, he pits. He's going to drop back 2 laps down or so where there's 3 drivers. Right now, he's got a lap and a half buffer to the car behind him in 9th. He's only got a handful of laps more to make it. Can he hang on? Meanwhile, C.J. LeVere doing a hell of a lot better than hanging on. He was actually pulling away for a little bit there over Brandon Chaburko. Brandon Chaburko in 2nd spot has closed the gap now to just under half a second. Sits at 44 hundredths of a second right now for the number 2 spot. Can he make one final push and try to get to the lead here in the closing lap, scoring it update that time by 3/10? Can the 3 get it done? He's closing in and knocking on the door.
And with less than 9 laps to go, he's got to move it. He's got to move quick, Evan. He's got to get up towards the front. Then he's got to put the bumper to the bumper of the 4 car and shove him out of the way, or somehow or another make him overshoot the corner.
Do they use the bumpers? Is going to be the question. 4 to go. A yellow will end it. From here on out, it's time to go. Brandon Chaburko is doing just that. They got to get around lap traffic. 7183 is going to come down in front of race leader. That's going to give Brandon Chaburko an opening. He has to come up the corner. He's got to check up, though, because the lap machine is there. Throws it down now into turn number 1. 1-2 car lengths separate the top 2 within 3 to go.
Wow. The 3 car trying to find a way around C.J. LeVere. 3 cars up in front of them going through turns 1 right now. Could they play factor into the race results here? Who knows? 2 car lengths separates the 2. Coming off of turn 2, Chaburko with the run.
Into 3 now, coming to the white flag. It is the 3 of Brandon Chaburko. Coming off the corner, doesn't have the speed. A car length, white flag is out. Final lap, he's there. On the bumper, he turns. CJ hangs on and now hits the 3. Side by side at a 2. Down the back straightaway for the lead. CJ on the inside.
Wow, and they're going to come to the finish line with C.J. LeVere on the inside, side by side. Oh, what a race.
Wow.
Oh, man.
I thought that 4 was done in turn 1. He gave him a shot, saved it. 3 gets clipped as CJ just gives him a little bit of a nudge in the left rear, dude. Drag race down the backstretch. 3 couldn't do a crossover. Tried to get the run off. Had a handful. Look at the hands inside of that 3 car coming up off the corner, every which way but straight. Couldn't get it done, man. C.J. LeVere by 5/100ths of a second at Martinsville.
Woohoo, buddy. And as the jitters and the nerves begin to calm down for the 2 there, C.J. LeVere up on the wheel to save that machine. What an impressive save. And also Willen and Dillon, the 3 car of Brandon Chaburko. Outstanding job by those 2 fine gentlemen as they put on one heck of a finish here at Martinsville Speedway. We're going to take one quick commercial break. come back and have the post-race interviews here at Martinsville Speedway in the ITSR Twisted Cup Series live on Tuesday night.
Make you run into me.
Hi, I'm Todd Malmstrom, driver of the 75M Ford Mustang GT. This is what I do by night. And this is what I do by day. I sell new Fords, and I've got the best selection of used inventory that you could ask for. Come see me down here at 74.
Are you tired of getting hassled at the dealerships? Looking for a salesman that knows what he's talking about? Are you looking to buy a new or used car? Then look no further! Sexton Ford Moline, Illinois has the biggest selection of new or pre-owned vehicles, and Todd Malmstrom is the salesman you want. Todd is an expert when it comes to cars, and if you don't believe me, then you should see him race on a Sunday night. With his top-notch professional customer service and expertise, he will make sure you go home in the right car for the right price. No hassle, no haggling. Todd will make sure that you're happy when you leave the lot with your new or pre-owned vehicle. Remember, Sexton Ford may be the talk of the town, but so is Todd Malmstrom. If you're in the market for a new ride, then buy one from a winner. Todd Malmstrom at Sexton Ford Moline.
And we're back to the ITSR Twisted Cup Series live at Tuesday night with the Martinsville Speedway, the Paperclip 144 race number 6, where newcomer Rich Jett in his first debut in the ITSR Twisted Cup Series would start all the way back in 19th spot and get a top 3 finish. Rich Jett with a 3rd spot tonight. Rich, tell us about your race.
I thought not qualifying was going to hinder me, but turned out a little better. Shorter race. Looked like it was going to go green, and it did there for big chunks at the end, but it all worked out, and love Martinsville.
Rich, we had a TV view of the race that was going on between the 4 and that 3 car, and you had that in-car view, obviously a little bit better view than we had. Did you really think that you were going to be able to squeeze by those two if those guys would have just wrecked out and, you know, you could have snuck a win for the first start here tonight? Wouldn't that have been great for you?
Oh, yeah, but I killed any chance of even being close to him. Clipped the apron off of one of the turns and fell back a couple seconds, but you just have to be there and be at the right time, and I didn't know how hungry Brandon was for it, but I knew CJ was equally ready to win too.
Absolutely, and of course, this being your first race here tonight, Martinsville Speedway, kind of a tough track to make your first debut at, you know, the Paperclip for what it's known for, but next week is Texas. You got your cowboy hat ready?
Yeah, I'll be there. I'm not a huge, I don't know, mile-and-a-half speedway fan, but I'll make do.
Absolutely, and last but not least, Rich, you got anybody you'd like to thank for tonight?
The Back Row Motorsports team, John Wilco, Randall Watkins, and Steve Herring calling the shots up in the spotter stand, and my beautiful wife and beautiful baby cheering me on over here still again. And Pug.
All right. Obviously, it's always nice to point out the wife, you know, and I have to thank my wife from time to time for allowing me to do this. And it seems like everyone we interview, they at least thank their wife or thank someone that's close to them for allowing them to do it. I know how time consuming it takes. But great run tonight for Rich Jett. He finishes third. And now holding on to my left shoulder is a pretty happy and ecstatic Brandon Scherberko, who almost claimed his second win of the ITSR Twisted Cup Series. But he does claim fifth spot in the points, just 3 back from Neil Fasakis. Brandon, you may have let out of the throttle a little bit to allow CJ to continue and gather himself up, but man, what a run.
Yeah, qualified 18th, and I thought a top 5 would be nice, but having a chance to even battle for the win was nice. First of all, apologies to CJ. Didn't intend on hitting you that hard. But it was a fun race. I enjoyed it. It was good short track racing.
And another thing, Brandon, we look at the top, let's see, somewhere between the top 11, all 6 starts. You, my friend, just 5 starts, and you're in 5th spot. So that just shows consecutiveness. 4 top 10s, 4 top 5s after tonight, and 1 win. So you're looking pretty stout. And maybe with that 6th start, who knows, you could be 1 point back where Jose Gonzalez sits behind CJ. So great start of the season so far. How do you feel about your chances next week at Texas? Does the cowboy hat fit right?
Oh, yeah, I'm normally pretty good at 1.5 mile track, so I definitely think I can scoop up a win there.
And last but not least, Brandon, who makes it happen for that number 3 machine?
I got to thank my sponsor, Carolina Nut, and Frank Lucilio third, as well as Lee Heron.
And there you have it, folks. The number 3 card, Brandon Scherberko, putting on a show for us there at the last closing laps of the ITSR Twisted Cup Series, the Paperclip 144. Now I'm going to send it to Victory Lane, where Evan Pasoko is standing with that number 4 machine, CJ LeBear.
DJ's going to climb out of the race car ecstatic after a wild finish here at the Paperclip 144 at Martinsville Speedway. CJ, you're the new points leader and you got your first win on the season. You knew that bump may or may not have been coming there, and how'd you hang on to that thing, buddy? That thing was basically spun out there and won, able to hang on to it, end up in victory lane.
I don't even know. It's pretty good luck there to save the car. I gotta actually thank Brandon for being the upstanding driver. I knew that he was gonna try to bump and run. I got tagged up with the lap cars and he got back on my bumper. I said, "Yep, the bump and run's coming," and I just, I was expecting it, and he gave it to me a little hard, and I was able to save it. And he's a respectful driver, and he let me gather it back up, and we dragged race to the line, and I still won it. I'm really happy to be up there, and it was just luck of seeing out of the mess. Like early on, very first lap, I got a lot of damage. I didn't think I was going to be competitive, but it was mostly, just superficial body damage, and we ended up getting the car back up to the front.
And definitely moving forward, obviously getting this points lead after this evening's race, and obviously looking forward in the schedule. The next race will be the Texas Shootout 114 at the Texas Motor Speedway a week from now. Being in the points lead, getting that first win, obviously showing your confidence and the consistency that you and your race team have had so far this season. That's your 5th top 10 and your 4th top 5 so far this evening. How you liking those 1.5 tracks, and what you looking forward to at Texas?
We'll be pretty good there, but my teammates Jose and Matt, they're right there catching me, and Jose's 1 point behind, and he's just as fast at those 1.5s, if not faster. Tonight he should have won the race. He kind of got messed up on pit road, so you just never know how anything folds out. You could one week be running up front, and next week get screwed kind of on a pit road deal like Jose did, and just never know how it's going to work out. We just hope to try to keep the momentum going and knock off those top 5s, and that's all we can do. Stay on Jose's bumper.
and definitely obviously putting on a show for us. I know that up here in the broadcast booth, those last couple laps were obviously very exciting and put on a show and able to get the victory lane. Sponsors and shout outs to anybody else you want to thank. The mic's all yours.
I got to thank Axo Sanitary, Quick Car for sponsoring our series. I got to thank all ITSR board members. They do a lot of work behind the scenes, and a lot of stuff goes on here. And we start up our new Thursday series with the B car. Everything's great here. I got to thank all my drivers, all the ITSR drivers. You know, thanks for showing up. Thanks for being here. Thanks for putting on shows we put on. And I don't even know. Thank everybody. There's somebody I'm sure I forgot. I got to thank my teammates.
Definitely. Well, congrats on a very thrilling fashion to victory here this evening, and we look forward to seeing what we can do next week.
We'll see. Hopefully we'll be up here. Thank you very much.
And that is CJ LeVere walking away victorious in a paperclip 144 this evening at Martinsville. Also your new points champion, Keaton.
Yeah, we can finally say we're halfway through one of the first 12 championship runs that we'll have. Of course, the ITSR runs a 36-week race event that's broken up into 3 seasons, and we're halfway through the first one where CJ LeVere has won tonight and is 1 point up on Jose Gonzalez and 14 up on Matt Lacrosse. And we've got a good run-in for the second half. Hopefully next week at Texas we'll have a good run there. I can't wait to put the cowboy hat on and see you guys at the rodeo. For me, Mike Keaton, Evan Pasoko, and Michael Woolley and the rest of the gang here with the ITSR Twisted Cup Series, we'll see you next Tuesday night at Texas.
Trucking has always been a part of me. It started years ago when my dad and granddad were hauling vegetables to market in Liverpool. The family immigrated to Canada in the late 60s and settled near Alliston, Ontario. I bought my first truck in 1982 and Mercer Trucking was born. Today, Mercer Trucking has over 50 trucks in terminals in Toronto and Los Angeles. Our storage facilities at both terminals can handle any size of distribution needs throughout North America. We service the continental U.S., including Hawaii and Alaska. We run over 120,000 miles per month and some of the best equipment on the road today. We specialize in less than truckload shipments, show freight, we do rush team service deliveries, and haul your refrigerated or heated product. Our regular team service from Canada to California is second to none, and our staff and drivers are among the best in the business. I'm proud of our people and what they can achieve. Trucking is in my blood, it's my livelihood, and it's what I do best.
DGVertec.net's primary goal is to provide you with a successful website presence. They have purpose-built their web servers successfully throughout the years. The stress testing has been done so that they can provide you with an enhanced web hosting technology that they design for using future standards today for tomorrow. They offer 24/7 support for all web hosting plans. Their team answers support tickets 24/7, so if you have a problem at any time, an agent will be more than happy to help you. If you're not satisfied with your service within 7 days, then you can get a full money-back guarantee, with a 99 uptime guaranteed as well, with plans for shared hosting starting at just $2.95. It's clear to see why DGVertec should be your choice for web hosting. Just go to www.dgvertec.net today, your web hosting solution.